What is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
Oh my god, there are so many, but the one that comes to mind right now is when I found messages between my ex-husband and his ex telling her that he still loved her and asking for nude photos. He profusely apologized, begged me not to end our marriage, and I told him that I just needed time and space to think. In the midst of all of this, now it's his birthday, and he asks if I'm going to do anything for him for his birthday. The fucking audacity. I told him I wasn't really in the headspace to be doing that, and he told me that his friends had asked if I was going to, and that he was embarrassed to tell them that his own wife wasn't doing anything for him for his birthday. Obviously, well, he knows what's going on behind the scenes. So he let his friends proceed to throw him a birthday party thinking that I'm just being a neglectful wife. And it happened to be on the same night that I had invited my family over to bake Christmas cookies. So we're doing that while they're having a birthday party, just talking crap about what a bad wife I am. And then he proceeds to get mad at me for throwing my mom a 50th birthday party 2 weeks later. And I found out that he was talking bad about me again with his friends, saying that he couldn't believe that I would throw her a birthday party and not him.
Okay, what is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
Okay, so one year for Valentine's Day, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to do like a sexy little surprise for him. So I went and got this like cute little lingerie set, and I like did up the bedroom with like candles and like made everything really sweet and sexy. And then he got home and I was like, surprise, let's, I don't want this video to get taken down. So I was just like, let's do like sexy stuff together in the bedroom. And then he was like, just went real quiet, looked at me, looked around the room, and I was like, oh my God, what's wrong? And he was just like, why has everything got to be planned with you? And I was like, I'm sorry? And he was just like, did you plan on us sleeping together tonight? And I was like, well, yeah, like for Valentine's Day, like I thought it'd be a sexy little surprise. And he was just like, why has everything got to be a plan with you? Like, why can't we just like spontaneously do it like we used to? And I was like, I was just trying to do something sweet for Valentine's. And he just didn't talk to me for the rest of the night.
What is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
So my ex actually got mad because one time I was drunk eating a pomegranate in my bedroom, and I guess I didn't notice that as I was biting into it, some of the juice was hitting the wall. And the next day when he came over, he looked at the wall and was like, what is that, a wine stain? And I was like, a wine stain? What are you talking about? I don't know what that is. That's not a wine stain. I think that's maybe some pomegranate juice from what I was eating last night. And he was like, you sure you wasn't here with somebody else having wine, having a good old time? Hardy har har. I'm not even exaggerating. That's how the man sounded. So I was like, no, that could only be the pomegranate that I was having last night. Why you bugging out though? And this man licks his finger, puts it on the wall, and tastes whatever it is and goes, oh, I guess it is pomegranate juice. And I was like, yeah, you get mad over nothing. But then I stayed with him for another 5 years. What does that say about me?
Okay, what is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
So the incident I'm going to be talking about is with someone that was my first ever long-term boyfriend. So at this time, I changed my Facebook cover photo to a picture of my favorite K-pop singer. And in the caption, I wrote, my baby's so fine. Just keep that to the side because I will refer back to that later. So the day after I post this picture, my boyfriend comes to pick me up to go eat lunch. As soon as I sit down in the car, he turns to me and says, hey Ting Ting, so did you decide where you want to go eat for lunch yet? And I was like, why are you calling me that? And then he says, isn't that your name? And I was like, yeah, but you never call me that. Anyways, I just brushed it off and then we went to go eat lunch. So after lunch, he drops me back off at home and he does the same thing. He turns to me and he says, okay, bye Ting Ting, I'll see you tomorrow. And then I was like, okay, what the fuck? And then he was like, what? I can't call you babe anymore because you called someone else that. It's not special anymore. And then it hit me. All of this passive aggressiveness just because I called a celebrity baby.
Okay, what is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
He told me that he wanted to buy me breast implants, and I was like, no thank you. I already have to deal with enough issues from the current gals, if you know what I mean. Back pain for days. And he was like, well, if you're dating me, you have to get extremely large breast implants. And I was like, why? And he said that it was his preference and that I needed to make that change to make him happy. So he got really, really mad and I broke up with him.
Okay, what is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
There's plenty, but my favorite one was probably when I was planning on getting a breast augmentation, and so I had a consultation with a doctor, and he came along with me, and obviously I had to sit on the bed with my shirt off so the doctor could do my measurements and see how much natural fat I had, if we could do it over or under the muscle. And after the appointment, we're in the car and I could tell he's mad, and I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, no wonder I'm gonna be fucking mad. his face is right in your boobs, like, and you're touching your boobs and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what? And he's like, well, wouldn't you be fucking mad, like, if a nurse was all up in my junk? I'm like, no. If that was their job, like, he's doing his job, how else do you expect him to do a breast augmentation without looking at my breasts?
Okay, what is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
I have a couple. One, his phone broke, and then when I told him, hey, I'll come over and give you one of my old phones, he's like, no, you don't have to do that. And I was like, no, I really don't mind. He's like, no, it's fine. And then I was like, okay, all right, fine. And then he got really mad at me, and he's like, you're my girlfriend. You should know that I want you to do that. And then he yelled at me at the top of his lungs, and then I started crying. Two, my grandma was coming into town, and he got mad at me because my grandma was coming in to take me away from him for the week. And then he said his friend died, and no one died. So, three, I hugged one of his friends because he was reaching out for a hug, and I'm not going to be like, no, I'm not going to hug you. And he started yelling at me and calling me a whole bunch of different words where I visibly could not drive, so I had to pull over because I was shaking and crying. So,
okay, what is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
Babes, I could write a book, but I won't because that would give him attention and he does not deserve it. But I will tell you this story because it's kind of like a warning, if you will. So we were at his friend's for some drinks one night, and I was chatting to this girl that I'd never met before, and I was telling her the story about how my eldest son was born, because at that time I only had one child, and it's actually a pretty gnarly story, like I almost died giving birth to him. So I told her this story, and I didn't realize my ex had been listening until I finished the story, and then my ex threw his beer bottle against the fence, shattering it and effectively silencing the entire party, and then he stormed out and broke their gate, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed, and I apologized, and I went after him, and I was like, what the hell? And he screamed at me because I was telling a story about a time that he was not in my life. Like, I'm so sorry you weren't the one to knock me up at 16. Red flag, so many red flags.
Okay, what is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
So in my sophomore year of high school, I was dating a senior, and we had only been dating around 3 months, and this happened sometime in August. One of my best friends was having a birthday party, and it was an all-girls party aside from one guy who was pretty much the only guy she considered a close friend. And I shit you not, my ex got mad at me because I didn't ask my best friend to invite him to her birthday party so we could still be together that day. The killer part is that they didn't even know each other. She just knew that I was dating him, and he just knew that she was one of my best friends. And he went on and on about some shit that I didn't love him, and he broke up with me all because I wouldn't ask my best friend to invite a stranger to her birthday party.
Okay, what is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
He got mad because I posted a picture of me and my friend who died. My friend died, so I posted a picture that we had of us together from 2 years prior, and he was mad because it was with a dude. We weren't hugging in the picture, holding hands, anything like that. We never dated. He was just a friend standing beside me in a picture, and he was pissed. The dude was dead. And my ex was mad. He made me delete the picture. Granted, we're not together anymore because he's a whole basket case, as you can tell. But yeah, that was crazy.
Okay, what is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
One of my exes used to get mad at me every single time we went to a restaurant because I wouldn't correct the behavior of the male presenting cashiers and servers because they were obviously hitting on me or flirting with me instead of what they were actually doing, which was just exhibiting good customer service skills. One of the most memorable instances of this is when we went to a Ruby Tuesday with our then toddler and newborn infant. He got so angry with me for not correcting the behavior of our male presenting server because he was clearly just hitting on me that he walked out of the restaurant and left me alone there with the children. We didn't see him for 3 days, though now we haven't seen him for 3 years, so I guess it kind of evened out.
Okay, what is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
He got offended because I posted a story time. So this happened right when I first got TikTok, around April. I posted a story time about my mom doing a phone check. He was a part of the story, but the story time wasn't about him. He caught him asking me for nudes. She called him out on it. Rather than apologizing to her, he took off. In legal terms, any photo depicting an underage person's genitals is considered child pornography. He DMs me the next day, saying he'll go to a higher authority and have me stopped to have my video taken down. Yeah, okay. He claimed I was ruining his reputation. No, dumbass, you do that all by yourself. And rather admitting that what he did was wrong, he had one of his little girlfriends, an underage girlfriend at that, add me on Snapchat by my username to cuss me out, to say, oh, it's not child pornography. Bitch, you are underage, you don't get to say what is and what isn't. So then to be spiteful, I posted story times about our failed relationship.
Okay, what is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
Hair removal cream. My ex was meticulous about his manscaping, and you know what? There was never any judgment on my part. It's his body hair, it's his business. I'll say that again because that needs to be repeated. Other people's body hair is none of your concern. One night he asked me if I would put hair removal cream down there on his taint, his perineum, for all the viewers on medical TikTok. After reading the back of the bottle, I told him I would not do that. I told him that putting that cream on his gooch was absolutely unsafe. To which he responded, just because you were a junior lifeguard doesn't make you a medical expert, Sarah. Ooh-wee, he was angry with me. He was a big old bodybuilder, so his muscular little arms just couldn't reach in all the right places. The more I tried to talk him out of it, the angrier he got. He managed to put it down there by himself. He ended up getting second-degree burns. Couldn't walk right for a week. Hair removal cream.
Okay, what is one of the stupidest things that one of your exes has gotten angry with you about?
Oh my god, so I have so many stories, but I'll start with this one. So I was on the phone with my ex in a bank drive-thru. I told him I would be home here in a few minutes. But after I got off the phone with him, I decided to go across the road from the bank to get some snacks and some drinks at a local Speedway. That's where I messed up. Because when I came through the door of our apartment, I knew I had messed up. He was so pissed off because he knew in the 2 to 3 minutes it took me to get the snacks and the drinks and to check out, he knew I had cheated on him. Just knew it. Of course, he started throwing stuff and punching the wall and throwing the garbage can, and I needed to wake up. I should have seen it. But I didn't, and there's more.
Tell me you've been single a long time without telling me you've been single a long time.
When people ask if I'm in a relationship with anyone, I say, yeah, with Jesus. You know, because he's enough for me. He's all I need.
Name a job where the amount of work and the amount of pay do not match.
Oh, that's easy. Being a Section 8 real estate investor, I might, on a good week, put in 5 hours worth of work if I'm lucky. That's normally just signing off documents such as new HVAC installations or roofing installations. And for that amount of work that I put in, Section 8 will send me over $400,000 per month in rental payments for my tenants. Obviously, about 60% of that is actually passive cash flow. The other 40% goes to the bank and mortgages and taxes and insurance. But for the amount of work that I do and the amount of pay that they pay me each month, it's very not matching up.